Hello, televiewers. Good morning and welcome to this edition of Breaking News, My Media Prime Television. On today's edition of Breaking News, we are looking at the legacy of one of the eldest or the eldest member of the upper house of parliament in Cameroon. We are talking about Nfon V.E. MUKETE, who reportedly died this morning at the Yaoundé General Hospital, and the death was announced on the Facebook page of the death. But inside or close sources at the Senate of Cameroon, we are talking about Senator Mbela Mokichas. He has also announced the death or the passing away of the eldest member of parliament in Cameroon, and he died at the Yaoundé General Hospital this morning, like I did mention earlier. He was the eldest member of the upper house of parliament, and before his death, he abdicated the throne in 2020, and his son Ekoko Mukete IV took over from him. Televiewers, we are equally in the studio with Kedia Malamfe, who is an active member of the ruling CBDM party, to be analyzing or talking about the legacy of Nfon MUKETE, the late senator who died this morning. Kedia, Robert, good morning and welcome to this edition or to the breaking news.
Good morning to you. It is really a shame that in the presence of this crisis, we are losing our archive, people that know much more of the crisis than some of us that we even studied. Most of them, they experience it. We just lost Christian Cardinal Tumi, and now we are losing one of the greatest archive of the English-speaking problem in Cameroon, someone that has been there since even before reunification. Yes, you remember when we were still with Nigeria under the Littleton Constitution, he was the Minister of Information when we were still in Nigeria. So he worked together with Emmanuel Mbelali Fafa Endele, Augustin Gumjwa, Jongu Foncha. He worked with them, and so he really knows the basic, the foundation of the crisis. He played his own role. He's gone. I would like to express my condolences to his people. He was a king of Bafor. I would like to express my condolences to the Bafor people there present in Kumba in the Kmer division, and also to express my condolences to his colleagues, senator, and to all people that love him.
Okay, Kedia, let's take you to Kumba, chief town of Kmer division. Tamfu Sidwan is on standby at the palace of the Bafu people. He was there this morning, and he wanted to know, to confirm actually if the senator was dead, but the chairman of the traditional council told him to leave the palace, that no such thing has happened. That is merely social media, wrangling social media by people, that the news was not true. Notwithstanding, Tamfu Sidwan now paints the picture of how Kumba is at the moment, following the announcement on the Facebook page of the Spectrum Television of the death of Senator V.E. MUKETE. Tamfu Sidwan.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Kumba. Presently, I am standing at the gate of the Kumba Nfon's palace, and the population of Kumba received the news early this morning, and so many people are disturbed. Some have been struggling to get to the palace to confirm whether it is true. So I struggled to equally get to the palace. But the chairman of the Kumba Traditional Council said that the news is just a flying news. He stated that if there is anything, then they are the ones to declare if the fund is no more. But presently, the Kumba population, it is very difficult to convince the population of Kumba that the chief is still alive. Although the traditional council says he's still alive and what has been circulating on the social media is fake. Other sources, even at the level of the Senate, have actually confirmed people like Senator Mbela Mokichas and so on. So I'm still here, although the press is not allowed in there at this point in time, but we are still trying to get to the root of the whole issue. And if it is true, then we are certainly going to get a declaration from the Kumba Traditional Council. Tamfo Sidwan Njimbye, my media prime, Kumba, Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Tamfo Sidwan, for painting that picture of Kumba, chief town of Meme Division, this morning after several or multiple sources, unofficial sources, announced the death of the eldest senator in Cameroon, V.E. MUKETE, who died at the General Hospital in Yaoundé. He took ill some times back and was declared dead this morning, according to information that My Media Prime Television gathered on the Facebook page of Spectrum Television, corroborated with that coming in from the Senate. We are talking about Mbela Mokichas, who has also announced or confirmed the death of Senator V.E. MUKETE. Kedia, let's look at the legacy of this very venerated senator in Cameroon. He's the richest, his family is the richest in the entire African sub-region, if I have to put it that way.
Of course, the Mukete's family remain the richest family in the whole of Semak region, worth more than $300 million US, and we all know his wealth. He comes third position with regards to plantation after Ndawara with the tea estate, after President Paul Biya with his plantation in the south. The third person who is involved in agriculture is the Nfon of the Bafo people. And a part of that other aspect, you also have him at the level of him being the dean of the Senate of Cameroon. When we talk about dean, would mean the oldest person at the level of the Senate who has disappeared, because according to the African culture, our traditional leaders, they don't
It
die.
would appear from MUKETE actually prepared.
He's a man with wisdom. That's why he's the dean of the Senate. And I think many parents, especially those with wealth, should learn from this. When you get to certain age, it's good you actually come out to say, okay, fine, this is my son, you are my next of kin, these are my property, you get this, you manage that. So that at the level of your demise, your family will not be plunged into a war, as we've seen it at the level of, I think it is the Foso family that they are going to court now doing all this. But at the level of MUKETE, he's a man of honor. His children already know who is managing whatever things. Like if it was that he didn't take this decision, like now his journey to the beyond, his children could have been fighting who is king. And we know how this have destroyed many families in Africa. But as a responsible person filled with wisdom, he decided to let everything be clear. You own this, you own that, you own this.
Okay, Kedia, before we look at his political life, let's go find out during one of his outings in Parliament when he was so bitter about the Anglophone crisis, and then we'll come back and elaborate on some of those actions he took while in Parliament.
Producing an English edition of the Tribune. What do you think we mean? Are we mad? Please don't do it. These are some of the things which have driven some people against the wall to go and take guns. You are not honest. You are not honest. They don't mean that. We should think about it. If you don't want to present some of these journals of information in the language which I can read, then you don't want me in the country. Then you don't want me. When I say it, I mean it. I'm crying. I'm crying. I think it's very wrong that we should continue like this thing in this country. People, when you do it and you ignore this question of language for the two English divisions, what do you think you are making them to feel? What do you think? People that will not tell you honestly, then you regard them as inferior. Why should you not present the information to them in a way that they can understand? When the elections are to take place, we take the trouble to produce materials in languages which will be understood. We send things to the various people so that they can support us. That is the same thing. Why is it that we have to beg for a journal containing the good work of the government? We should beg that it should be also in English. Why should we beg? It's not even in the interest of the government that this type of policy should go on. It is wrong. When we unified, the Tribune was produced in English and French. What is there? What's the difference? What is the trouble in our country? English Cameroon and French Cameroon. The only difference is the language. The only difference in language is French and English. But somebody came later on and took his gun, his revolver, and shot at the English, killed the English. That was more, I call it a mortal shot. A shot against the unification of this country. The unification of this country is made of two languages, and somebody will come and say, no, because of money, let us kill the English. That was the beginning of trouble. And that is what was sowing a seed which was germinating to cause the trouble we are having today. It's wrong. It's wrong of us to have done that type of thing. And we swallow it and we think it's not nonsense. I mean business. I mean it, and I fought for the unification of this country. It was wrong. English and French take together. Then you come and cut and you reduce it, you move English. What were you doing? Just kicking against the very foundation of this country. And that is what is possible trouble. Now we've got a point where we are to mend. Shall we mend or mar? As Fonlong would say. We are in the position. We are in the position to ask ourselves. Shall we make or mar? Shall we fix or spoil? It is this is all of us here. We're in a position. We are in a position to make. We are in a position to correct errors of the past. Now we have made errors which have nearly destroyed our country. I'm saying that. Victor MUKETE is saying that. You can quote me. All of you, those of you who have not read my book, get copies and read and understand what I mean. We have almost destroyed our country, but fortunately,
we have almost destroyed our country. Shall we fix or spoil? Those were some of the words of Senator V.E. MUKETE in Parliament sometimes back. They are very bitter about what is ongoing in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon.
Yes, it is also clear if anybody is not disturbed about what is going in the northwest and southwest, then that person is an advocate of the devil, because everyone is disturbed about it. Souls are falling, people are being displaced, and increase with criminality, kidnapping, rape, abduction, and the rest. If anyone is not disturbed, then that person really is an advocate of the devil, as I earlier said. And V.E. MUKETE is one of the founding father, people that were there during the Second World War, and received the British and collaborated under the NCNC in Nigeria with the Biafrans, because we're part of the eastern region of Nigeria. So he knows the evolution of everything. He knows the foundation of the Anglo-Saxon and the judicial system. He knows the economic situation that we're being done.
Is why was it so
step.
difficult for him? That's a question many people are asking, to ensure that the Anglophone crisis, or the Anglophone question or problem, which of course he documented, I mean, the history of the southwest and northwest and southwest regions in his book. What was so difficult for him to push for that crisis to be discussed in Parliament? I mean, on agenda.
One, he's a senator. He's not a parliamentarian. And he played his role, which I believe we should also appreciate people, their effort that they've made. He has made a good effort at his level, the same as Christian Cardinal Tumi did, the same as the guy that usually put on white short, the way he did his own, and all of them that did their own, and we should appreciate their effort. Remember, we are in a democratic country where everybody does his own effort, and we try to see it to be collective. We all know the problem that is happening in the two English-speaking region of Cameroon. Yes, there's a problem. Everybody recognizes it. Even the head of state, President Paul Biya, recognized it. That's why he said. That's why he said. That's why he said it is time for us to forgive and move ahead. That's the word of the president. And the problem we are facing here is that the division of ideology that is there. Let me tell you why the problem is still persisting. One, we have guys that were rascals and criminal in the field, that now they are being called general. Now they take people's children, they do their own things.
They are taking.
Okay, fine.
You're not answering my question. My question was, why was it so difficult for the late senator to, somebody who has a mastery of the history of southern Cameroons or West Cameroon, former southern British southern Cameroons or West Cameroon. So what was so difficult for him to push for this problem, push for a solution? I
am saying that V.E. MUKETE did what he did at his own level. We saw him there at the Senate floor talking bitterly. As an individual, that's his limit. He has his own effort that he did. The same as Christian Cardinal Tumi did his own effort. At the assembly, it's collective decision and not one person deciding. Even the president of the Senate does not take decisions as a dictator in the Senate. It's a collective decision. And V.E. MUKETE did what he could do at his own level to come out to say, this is the problem, this is the problem. He went further to even discuss with the government. We saw him at the Grand National Dialogue when he came out and he spoke and even gave his own view, which was to an extent almost different with that of his political party. That's where you see someone that has his own decision that he can push forth for his own decision. He took his own stand. He said what he could say. At that level, we adore him, we honor him for his own effort that he has done to ensure that the high level of bloodshed should reduce. But he does not have powers to sign a decree to say that this is it, this is the way forward. He spoke with all people. The problem we are facing at the level of this problem is that we should all accept the fact that Cameroon is one and indivisible. Then we come back now as Cameroonian and struggle together and bring forth solution while dropping the arms. And I think that's his own stand.
Okay, that was his own stand. And Tamfu Sidwan is still at the palace of the Bafo people in Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon, and he shall be giving us updates any minute from now. And Kedia Robert, before his death, like we mentioned, you said he studied in Nigeria, and he was equally a minister of information in Nigeria way back before coming back to his homeland country to serve Cameroon.
Yes, he's a patriotic man, he went studied in Nigeria, and in his study in Nigeria, he was even he evolved and was later on appointed Minister of Information. And even him being having a luxurious position as Minister of Information, he's still one of those that joined Foncha and Estimuna in campaign of reunification, because we realized that Emmanuel Lalifafa Endele stood for us remaining with Nigeria. We had people like Nde Tumanza that were there to say that, okay, fine, we should come, even though we have some people with their minority view that we could be independent, but it was rejected and the question was not asked. So you look that he evolved, he played a very, very powerful role at the level of reunification of the two Cameroons, which his name will always remain in the archive as those people that did all they could do for us to be united today.
Yeah.
When you realize that at the plebiscite, when the election was made, because at that time when the election was made, we had Victoria, we had Kumba, we had Manfe, we had Baminda, and we have President Ndunga and Mantung. Those are the divisions that existed at that time, and you realize that the division of Kumba, which he was there and campaigned, voted for reunification with Cameroon. So those are the legacy he has, and we will always appreciate him at the level of the political aspect. If he was somebody, he would have been said that, fine, I am a Minister of Information, I'm living large in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, no need for us coming to reunion with our brothers. But looking at all what he had, he still thought that wealth, position of a minister is not enough to separate him and his brother, and he campaigned now for the reunifications of the two Cameroon. That is one of his most important legacy at the level of his political career. Now from there he came back. Many people did not know of what he did when we were still in Nigeria, especially under the period of the Littleton Constitution, when the governor was still Sir Littleton. Many people don't know about it, but when he came back, he was a chief, a fon, a king. He led the Bafor people, and when we'll be talking about his economic legacy, I'll explain more about that. He was close to his people. And we should also realize that V.E. MUKETE is one of the senates that were being appointed that came from noble family, because President Paul Biya always recognized the noble family. And when we talk about noble family in the whole of the Meme division, the Mukete's family come first. And when we are talking about noble family in the southwest region, you see the Mukete's family coming after the Endele's family. So you realize that he is part of those noble family, and the head of state, President of the Republic, thought it wise that we need his wisdom, we need his experience. He was there when we were fighting for reunification, he was there when we were fighting for independence, and now he's still healthy. So we will need his knowledge to build a strong unified Republic of Cameroon, and that is why the President of the Republic appointed him as senator. He went to the Senate. He was recognized there as the dean of the Senate, where he carried on the election. He was in charge of all elections that led to the voting of the President of Senate and all other. He was recognized. He did his effort at the level of the crisis at CCE. We saw him talking at the Senate bitterly. We saw him at the level of the Grand National Dialogue, which he came out plain. He did not look at the party line, but he gave his own view as a person. That is what I call nobility. That is what I respect. But I'm not saying people should think that at the level of the ruling party people have people know. We are a party, we have a diverse opinion, but we have a common goal. That is what we are saying. That, okay, fine, we English speaking people, we feel we are marginalized. Fine, that is our common goal, not to be marginalized. But we should throw the idea of my stand is unitary system, my stand is federal system, my stand is a separation. We should look at the common goal. That is what I enjoy a lot about this brave man, the fon, the leader of the Bafor people, the eyes of the Bafor people, and the archive, the biological archive of the history of the English-speaking people of Cameroon was embodied in him, and many people went to him to tap out knowledge from him about this crisis. Many people. When I even believe your house also visited him too, to tap out information. He's one of those that almost all chiefs visited him, almost all diplomats visited him, almost all TV stations visited him, because he was the living archive of the Anglophone crisis that erupted. We saw people like the cardinal that was there. Yes, the cardinal was there. His age, he knew everything, but he did not play in the political progression of Cameroon, because he was less a politician but much more of a social builder at the level of Christianity. But with the case of MUKETE, at the level of the political structure and involvement, was when he was during his active age that he really have all the archive in him, that he will explain to you how we move from 2 seats in the central legislative in Nigeria. We came back to having no seat at the central legislative in Nigeria, but at the Eastern Regional House. He will give you all this information, and he was a person that he took his stand and expressed his mind and his opinion on what he felt at his age. He did not fear any threat. He did not fear anything. He gave his opinion. What is beautiful is that we should learn to give our opinion and stand by our opinion. Our opinion may be at the minority level that will not overtake that of the other people, but our own opinion should be said.
Even if your opinion is a lie.
No. When it is a lie, it's no longer an opinion. It is an act of destabilization and destruction. We don't call that an opinion. An opinion is something that someone looks at it in a positive perspective. So he gave his own opinion. He has played his role, and now we need to appreciate his life and ask our ancestors to welcome him. I believe now he will be discussing with the cardinal, and the name I was forgetting, Molanjoli Tumbe. That's the name of Molanjoli Tumbe.
Let's run through the biography of the late senator vividly before going back to listen to some of his outing at the Senate. And we are saying that Nfon V.E. MUKETE was born on November 15, 1918. He was the paramount ruler of the Bafo tribe and former Minister of Information in Nigeria before the reunification of Southern Cameroon. So that's the former British Southern Cameroons with French Cameroon from 1958 to 1959. And he was equally the eldest senator in Cameroon, member of the Upper House of Parliament of Cameroon. That's the eldest senator. And he was also an author of a book, My Odyssey, History of Reunification of Cameroon, with authentic letters of key players. And talking about the educational background of the late paramount ruler of the Bafo people, Nfon V.E. MUKETE was educated at government school Kumba from 1926 to 1932, then proceeded to the prestigious government college Umuaye on a government scholarship for his secondary school studies from 1933 to 1938. And in 1939, after Government College Umuaye, Nigeria, he proceeded to Higher College Yaba, and he equally attended the University of Manchester, England from 1948 to 1951, and Christ College, Cambridge University from 1951 to 1952. He was an agriculturist and botanist by training, and Nfon V.E. MUKETE died, of course, this morning at the General Hospital in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon, at the age of 103. Kedia.
Oh wow, that's a legacy which I don't think everybody has that in Cameroon, especially those that were born at that his time, to have studied in Manchester, to have studied in all those areas. You realize that he's one of those that were born in the 1910 to the 1920, because he was born in 1918.
Yeah.
We have people like
The outbreak of the
we
First
have
World
we
War.
have people that were like the Endele that were born in 1913. We have people like the Foncha that were born in 1914. You realize that that age, that 1910 to 1914, is the age in which many of our leaders were being born. The Foncha, the Jua, the Endele, and the rest. He falls among that category, and he has left his legacy. We saw that what he studied is what he actually practiced. I'll talk about that when we're talking about his economic legacies. You see that that's what he actually done. In Nigeria, he studied. But the most important thing I appreciate with this noble man is that he went and studied in England, in the most prestigious university in those days, and now is still very prestigious. Not everybody that go to study in Manchester, but he studied there. The beautiful life he saw there in Europe, he abandoned it,
Came back home
to serve his nation. He was appointed in Nigeria Minister of Information. He abandoned it and asked for the reunification of his people. Even when the reunification was done, he humbly did not fight for any position, but he stayed in the Bafor land to lead his Bafor people. He was not desperate. Like, he's one of those that I think they fought for reunification, not because they were promised position like we know. Yes, because we know some of them that fought for reunification, that they were promised position by the then president. But you look at him, he was not promised any position. He abandoned his sugar position of minister in the Federal Republic. Many people will not understand what we mean. He was not a minister at the Western House, because you realize that at that time we had the Northern, we have the Eastern, and we have the Western House. He was a member of the Eastern Regional House, which was made up of the Igbos. Because we talk about the Western Regional House, it was made up of the Yorubas, and the Northern was made up of the Muslims. He was not appointed minister at the Eastern Regional House. He was appointed minister at the federal level of Nigeria. We know how Nigeria is. He abandoned it and fought for the reunification. He was not promised any positions like other, but he has a vision to know that it was very, very beautiful to unite with our brothers across the Mongo, because we were separated due to the effect of the First World War, and Germany lost. That's when we were separated. Yes. Many people see us as two different people, that this one is Francophone, this one is Anglophone. Wrong. We were united. We were colonized by German. We were one. And before the German came, we were one. I will not allow the West to come and separate us. That was the stand of V.E. MUKETE. That is why he fought for the reunification, for us to come one. But he recognized there is a problem. Even at the national dialogue, he even one time he talked of federalism, that maybe it could be a solution. But he stood for the one and indivisible nature of Cameroon. And that is one of my cry. We have people that are federalists, people that believe in unity, and people that are federal one separation. We are begging on all those that pick up under one federal separation to drop their arms, come back. Let us continue the battle, fight. If you want the system, form of system or whatsoever, we are ready to battle it, to get to a compromise and solve our problem. But separation was not an option. V.E. MUKETE is gone today to meet our ancestors. He stood for one and indivisible Cameroon. As we have Christian Cardinal Tumi that just left us, he stood for one and indivisible Cameroon. Even though they were very, very bitter with the situation at hand, they stood for one and indivisible Cameroon. And now they are dying in the 2020s, whereas those that were dead died in the 1990s. We saw the involvement, but if them at this age are still leaving us at this level, and they are talking about one and indivisible indivisible Cameroon, I beg we should follow their view. Then we'll fight on how we want Cameroon to be managed.
Let's also listen to this other outing of the late senator. Then when we come back, we shall look at his economic legacy. The producer still searching for the outing of the late senator in parliament. Was on the Anglophone crisis and other burning issues in the country. Okay?
Making serious errors in the creation of regions. The regions should be properly created as units to enable each region to function. If I don't want to, they should be ready. These regions should be able to run the radio services, the educational services, the health services, and so on. They should be able to do that. Oh, small countries, which are only perhaps 200,000, running governments and running the services. Many companies, very tiny companies, all our regions are big and rewarded with resources. The records show there that our regions are, all of them have enormous resources. We don't think only of the southwest region of petroleum. Regions, all regions of this country are endowed enormously. Their records, perhaps are confidential, but I'm saying it with confidence that all regions of Cameroon are enormously endowed. If you can only develop these places, and in fact, we talk of agricultural development, what have we done? Where is the Green Revolution? Germany had not only Cameroon as a colony, Morocco was under Germany, Tanganyika, and Southwest Africa. These were all German territories. When after the First World War, we were at the same level almost. Well, that's all territories. I think Morocco and some other, we were almost on the same territory, German territories, but where are we today?
Okay, we are back in the studio, televiewers. If you are just joining us, you are on to breaking news, my media prime television, and we are looking at the legacy of the late, the eldest member of the Senate of Cameroon, who reportedly died this morning at the Yaoundé General Hospital in the nation's political capital. We are talking about Nfon V.E. MUKETE, the defunct paramount ruler of the Bafo people in Kumba division of the southwest region of the country. And before we took that break, we were talking about what he stood for and other big figures in Cameroon who have left. And this time around, Kedia, like you rightly said, he studied in one of the most prestigious universities in the world, but decided to come back home and develop his hometown, his village, Kumba, and rule his people, give a better life for his people. Let's now look at some of the things that the people will remember him for in Kumba.
Before I talk about what the people remember him, I would like to take this opportunity to tell all Cameroonians in the diaspora and in Europe that if you are sent for scholarship to study abroad, the least you can do for your nation is to come back home and build your nation. V.E. MUKETE gained scholarship, studied, went abroad, and the best he could do was to come back to his nation. At the level of his activity in the economic sector, you realize that V.E. MUKETE was involved in agriculture, actually botany, and that's what he actually studied in the Manchester before coming back. You realize that in Kumba, he's the highest individual that created employment at the level of Kumba in his plantation. He has employed thousands of them in all his plantation, rubber, palm nut, and the rest of them, which is something we should appreciate. At the level of Kumba, he created employment. At the level of Kumba, about 3 years ago, when this crisis started, he increased his scholarship activity that the palace usually gives, because people should know that V.E. MUKETE in his palace usually gives scholarship to Bafo people, and he gave this scholarship to them. He has always been giving, and he stepped up the number during this time of the crisis, We saw people that went to the palace, they were given books, they were given pens, and he encouraged education, and he made the people to understand that where he is today stands to education, and that's why he invests a lot to assist them in education. That's it. Then now we look at his economic activity at the level of the national scope. You realize that VE MUKETE, we have a population of about 25 million in Cameroon, if I'm not mistaken. And
roughly 25 million.
Roughly 25 million. Yes. And it should be noted that when you look at the population of Cameroon, 25 million, you realize that the MUKETE's family, what many people don't talk about is that MUKETE's family have created employment to more than 2% of Cameroonians. Of Cameroon, because if you look at 2%,
how authentic is that statistic?
Good. I'll explain to you detailedly so that our viewers they understand. If we have a population of 25 million, you divide 25 million to get to 2%, you know how much we are talking about, more than about 1 point something million. Why do I say so? We have the thousands of people he has employed in his plantation. We know the thousands of people that have been employed in MTN Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Course.
Normally,
the family has over 60%.
Yeah, normally, if the family has 60% share of MTN Cameroon, then the Mukete's family owns 60% of the workers of MTN Cameroon, which we should appreciate that he has created employment. We know their percentage, their shares at the level of Camtel Cameroon, which he was a board of director. We know the thousands of people that have been employed by those institutions. There we know the percentage of employment he has created. He owned your sister television, Spectrum and Boom TV, all those ones. We know the thousands of people that have been employed in those structure. We also have a percentage of the United Bank, which thousands of Cameroonians have been employed. So when you look at all these giant companies and you look at his share, you evaluate the percentage of people employed, then it is for sure correct to say that he employed more than 2% of Cameroonians.
Okay, so what would the people of Kumba, let's go back to Kumba now, what would they remember him for?
Firstly, we are Africans, and we always need an intermediate person between the gods and the people. And he was their traditional rulers, where he intercede between the people of Kumba and the gods of the land. And if we are talking about economic cities in Cameroon, Cameroonians should know that after Douala as economic capital, the next city that comes that is so powerful in economic is Kumba. The economic activity in Kumba is more than that of Limbe and Tiku. The economic activity in Kumba is more than that of all the other urban city councils, because in Cameroon we have 14 city councils, and Kumba is one of them. So you realize that after the city council of Douala, the next one that comes in second in economy is Kumba. And thanks to his flamboyant economic activity and his knowledge in agriculture, which has led to create a lot of employment. The people of Kumba don't lack fruit anymore because he produced a lot of fruit. He has created employment in Kumba, which we should remember him. Two, he's an intermediary between the gods and the people of Bafor. Three, he has played a lot at the level of the customary court, because many people don't remember that the customary court in Cameroon has a very large influence in the judicial system. Because
apparently it's not longer it's like
no. When we talk about customary court now, the way it functions now, many people don't realize it. People still carry their problems to the fund for the fund to solve, and that is the function of the customary court. So the formality may have changed, yes, but those things are there. I'm telling you today that you should know that more than 75% of land disputes in the villages go through the fund before even going to court. And that is why in the law of Cameroon, it is permitted that chiefs have to sign authorizations. Their signatory is part of the process to have a land title in Cameroon. So you should know that he has been there. He has empowered the customary court to solve domestic problem at the level of successorship, because normally the problem we have in these areas have to do with land issue, which he has that age, he has the experience to solve land issue, he has that age to solve marital issue, he has that age to solve traditional issue of succession, of who to succeed a father after his death. So at that level, V.E. MUKETE has played a very powerful role to bring in to solve domestic problem at the level of Kumba, which I believe that the people of Kumba will greatly mourn him. But I just want to tell the people of Kumba that V.E. MUKETE is a Fon, and Fon don't die. He has gone in the glory, and in the glory he will be able to assist all of you better off even than the way he did now. So that is just it. We appreciate everything. His son is already there. That's one thing I appreciate about him. That's one thing I appreciate about his wisdom. He already left his son.
Passing a message.
You remember, even before Jesus Christ left, he told his disciple that I will send you people, the Holy Spirit, to protect you. Before V.E. MUKETE took to his journey, he already left his son, put him in a place to take care of his
passing
people.
A message regarding some situations in the country that might not, many people might not be very okay with it, about successionship at the level of the hem of power in Cameroon.
I would not like to go into that. President Paul Biya said he is not going into that. That Cameroonian people will decide their successor, not him. He has been voted, he will leave, and the law is there. That is why the president of the National Assembly is from the north, the president of Senate is from the west. If the president is not there, the president of the assembly from the north will manage everything, and the people of Cameroon will decide. So the president of the republic has nothing to do with that, and I appreciate him. That's a democratic person. That's the democracy he has built in Cameroon, and that's what we promote.
So that's what we promote. A big loss for Cameroon. After His Eminence Christian Cardinal Tome died, Mendoza equally died yesterday.
Yes.
Equally died, and then the princess of the Fuman equally died. So many lives lost.
Yes, in the past 1 week we've had a lot of loss. We've lost the secretary at the secretary of at the Minister of Public Health in charge of pandemic and epidemic at this level, where we are facing the terrible COVID-19 that have kept the world on its knees. And yesterday we lost a former minister of the Republic of Cameroon. Yesterday we lost a princess from one of the most powerful royal family in Cameroon, the Njoya family, which were in charge of the Fumban conference that was done on the 19th to the 21 of June 1961, if I have not mistaken. They held that, and the Njoya family has always been there at the level of Cameroon to assist Cameroon in economic, political, and social development. We also have Gervais Mendoza, one time that controlled at that time the only state media which was monopolized, because it was the only one in Cameroon. And there are many things I will have to recognize about Gervais Mendoza when he was there. One, at that time, we did not look at crazy videos with terrible dance steps at the national channel.
Yeah, it should be recalled that he had a program that he was hosting, Deviant dans la Société, if I quite remember, talking about some on ethical behaviors of people in the society. I quite remember he has
he was a morally upright person. He may have his weakness, he may have embezzled, but in Africa we don't look at the mistake of a dead man. We look at his successes to empower us. You realize that one, he was a stooge Christian. When you get the name Mendoza, you think about his son Asimba comes to your head. When you think about Mendoza, you think about CRTV at that time. I would not like to compare him and the other, but I think that at that time if CRTV at that time could still be the way it could be now, the way it was at that time, you have much viewers than the way it is now. Because at that time we had program for children. We have, I can remember the MUKETE nights that we used to watch, the Stargate and the rest. At that time he did his best, but justice is justice, and what happened is what actually happened. At the end, the president of the republic permitted that he should be taken to the hospital, and at the hospital he was being treated. But Cameroonians should not forget, please, the ailment he had the ailment since 35 years. He has been sick with a particular ailment. So please, we should not deviate it and try to interpret it that is the problem he had in prison. No, before he went to prison about 10 years, is it up to 10 years he went to prison? It should be about that time. But we should know that the email he had before he went to prison, he had the email already for more than 25 years. So we should not say that is because of prison or whatsoever. But as Africans, we glorify his achievement, we thank him, and secondly, we ask him to farewell and sit with
we have few minutes to the end of the program. Before we end the program, let's look at the social life, the social life of MUKETE. He was a traditionalist, or a custodian of the tradition, and let's how was he matching up Christianity in his in his fondom or chiefdom with and I mean upholding tradition that he was a custodian of? Very much you hear from that part of the country, you know very well.
There is one thing I enjoy, and one video that I watched of Pope John Paul II when he came to Cameroon. He told the people that we have actions that we used to do, and people said it was evil. It was not evil. If your father gets up in the morning, get wine and pour libation in front of the house and say, thank you God for protecting my children over the night, that's not evil. That is worshiping God. We have diverse way of doing it, so people should not misinterpret this too. And at the level of V.E. MUKETE, as a Christian, he carried out his traditional activity, because the two don't clash.
Yes.
Because you realize that at the level of culture is okay. We cannot talk about culture. Culture is a dressing habit, traditional dance, traditional meal. That's what we affiliate to culture. Now we'll go now to tradition. Tradition has to do with intermediary between the people and their ancestors. Now, for instance, if you go to their creator. Remember, if you go to the Roman Catholic Church, for instance, you see the Roman Catholic, when they pray, they say Saint Philomena pray for us, Saint Augustine pray for us. Those are people that have left their life holding their holding their faith so strong that we believe that they are the bosom of our Heavenly Father. So we call upon them to intermediate with us. It's still normal for a paramount ruler to get up also and call also his own ancestors that have left before him to intercede for him. So these are the aspects we should know about tradition and our culture with Christianity that we should not try to mix too. That's why you see, especially at the level of Christianity, you see priests, pastors, they visit traditional rulers, they dance the traditional rulers. Please, a traditional juju that they put on masks and they dance during traditional ceremony is not evil. That is why, I will not even end it. I will just tell you that some few months ago, Christian Cardinal Tumi got a traditional title, one of the most powerful traditional titles. So we should not mix up these two. They are there, and all of them, they have their positive achievement that will help us. So what I am saying is that as a leader, a traditional leader, a ruler, and a form, the Bafo people have never complained about him, because they accepted his mediation, because his mediation was a blessing to him, and his economic activity which he accompanied them. So at the level of the tradition, he uphold the tradition. He has kept the tradition for the period of years, almost half a century before he left. That's about 5 decades. He has given it to his son. We pray his son would uphold the culture, the tradition of the Bafor people, and not let it slip out of his hands. The West have come with their own ideology, but we need to uphold our culture and our tradition because they are all we have. So I think his son is in a better place to uphold the culture and the tradition of the Bafor people that his father entrusted in his hands, and all the Bafor people accepted him, and he is mediating between them and their ancestors. For now, I would say Bafor and Kumba is doing so well. As I earlier said, it is the second most largest economic city. Everything is going on there very smoothly.
Okay,
so I will conclude by saying that his mediation
we still have some development coming in Kedia. Our reporter who is at the palace is telling us that the death has finally been confirmed. We shall be getting back to him whenever he's online. And for now, let's take some few messages that are coming in. Good morning to the Cameroonian people. Despite all of the difficulties we are going through today, I think all these people are still serving us as the real cause of the problems that we have in Cameroon today. I would like to ask the CBDN representative to do you really like or love to see this country, Cameroon, that was one of the wealthiest in the early 70s, still ruled by these old people who have nothing to offer to the Cameroonian people? That's a question a contributor is asking, or a viewer is asking this morning. Kedia, you respond before we move ahead.
Yes, we are in a republic, and if things are going on well, we enjoy. If things are not going on well, we put our collective effort for things to go on well. We have the crisis that is going on. We should not depend only on the government.
He didn't talk about crisis. Let me read the second message he sent.
Okay.
He said, look at the way the economic activities are degrading every day, and not to even mention power, water supply, poor energy supply, communication network, poor road system, and just to name these few. Don't you think your regime has failed?
No, he's making a mistake. I will not want to go political, but when we talk about electricity supply, for instance, Cameroon is among the first 5 African countries among the 54 that have good electricity supply, of more than 67% of electricity supply, more than Nigeria. In Cameroon, we use electricity for 24 hours, but in Nigeria, they use electricity for 12 hours, and later on, they change after 12 hours, and in most other African countries. At the level of water supply, it's true that there is a minor problem at that level, especially at the grand north of Cameroon, because water supply in the northwest, southwest region, littoral east, and the south region of Cameroon really has no problem. It is at the level of the extreme north, which a lot is being done. So
are those not indicators that your regime is failing, and these old people is talking about, they have to step aside so that new blood?
Talk about failing, I don't understand.
So
we are talking about involvement. We are talking about involvement. We are better off than other countries. We criticize. It's okay, I understand them. Even those in America, they criticize that America is bad, the government is this and that. But some people, when they go to America, they feel like they have gone to heaven. I've seen many white people in Europe gaining visa to come to Cameroon, and they are very, very excited to come to the heartbeat of Cameroon because of
our
Cameroon,
resources.
yes.
Oh, why?
Because of the development.
What development, Kedia?
Electricity. Can you compare? How many countries can you compare? Cameroon has electricity more than Kenya. Cameroon has electricity more than Rwanda.
But they don't have power outages like us.
It was not the issue of saying the statistics was not given by the Cameroonian government for some people to criticize. It was not given by Cameroonian government. The statistic was given by the organ in charge of that. So when we look at all this development, then now one thing that Cameroonian fail to understand is the fact that our development in Cameroon is centralized. For instance, when you go to Kenya, you land at Nairobi. Wow, Nairobi is like Paris. But out of Nairobi to the suburb is totally crazy.
Same thing with Rwanda.
Yeah, same thing with Rwanda. When you land at Kigali, you are just like, wow, this is heaven. But if you leave out of Kigali, come on, that's it. But you realize that in Cameroon and all those places, Nairobi, Kigali, they are their capitals. But in Cameroon, You know that the most developed cities even is not Yaoundé. Limbe is more than Yaoundé.
Not even Douala. Have you
Yes.
been to the north?
Yeah, Garoua the same. So you realize that we have cities that are very beautiful than the capital. That to show the liberal form of development we have. But if you go to those countries, I'll tell you, you go to Nigeria, you land at the airport in Abuja, you visit the secretariat, you visit Wusetu, you visit IBB, Ibrahim Babangida Highway. When you visit those places, you know that you are already in Paris, in Nigeria. But when you start to go to AYA, when you start to go to Nyanya in Abuja, I will tell you that there are places, Mabanda beats those places in development very well. I've gone out, I've seen all those things. So people always love to give their view. But what I'm saying is that you may not be happy with the system in place, but what is the way forward? Collective cooperation, to work together to develop it. Many people that criticize Cameroon have not gone out of the country to look at it. Now, only in Cameroon, at the level of productivity in agriculture and in food, we cannot even count the traditional meal we have in the West region. We have achu, we have I cannot even name them, Kui and the rest. I was in Nigeria, sir. I will not lie to you. These people, they eat only yam and cassava. When you go to Nigeria, you see akpu. Akpu in Nigeria is cassava. Gari is cassava. Amala that they show us in TV is yam. Everything about them, that's where it ends. But I cannot even count the number of food we have in Cameroon. We are fine. But I understand people that are criticizing. People that are criticizing, they are out to say we could be much more better. And I accept that we could be much more better. And we are to work together with the government to be more better. Rather than criticizing, let us put our own effort to be much better. But I still say it, Cameroon is better than other countries, which those countries, they have resources more than us. We cannot compare the resources Congo has with us or other English-speaking countries, but we are doing better. And we can do much more better. So rather than criticizing, I think we should work together so that we could be more better for those criticizing. You cannot be comparing capitals of other countries. I'm just still with the message of the other.
Move ahead.
You cannot be comparing capitals of other countries.
But his concern is that he has a problem with the old people. He thinks that the slow pace at which the development of Cameroon is moving is as a result of these old people who are still sitting tight on some very key positions in the country.
It's because he has not understood how the political mafia works in the world. We realize that since 2010, Cameroon has been developing rapidly. Before we were struck with the Boko Haram and the Anglophone crisis, which many people say that the Anglophone crisis is due to bad governance, but I tell them that the Anglophone crisis genesis is just because we won the struggle between Cameroon and Nigeria over Bakassi. And this oil of Bakassi now, many people, countries in Europe, they think that they can come and create division between us and exploit our resources. But apart of that, Cameroon is developing. Everything is going on very well. We are seeing our infrastructure. We have stadiums. We have the Long Panga, the Menveli, and we have everything. And we can have more if we criticize the government and work with the government. You don't criticize the government and you stay behind and allow the government to work alone. No. You are right to criticize, to give your own view. And I want to let all Cameroonians know that all your critics that you give, the government learns from them. They use it to grow. And
okay, there's somebody who is also contributing from Marwa. Marwa, he said, good morning, sir, and greetings to your guests in the studio. I am just switching on my TV set now, and your program is ongoing because we never had live. And I'm writing from Marwa. I say your guest in the studio is talking like a CBDM person. We are not having electricity in Marwa here, and he's in the studio saying that there's no problem in Cameroon, that there is no day we can go in Marwa without power cuts in that part of the country.
No, we have problem of electricity. People should not get me wrong. That's why I gave that percentage. And yes, that's why I said we are more better than other African countries. We are having light cut. But there are other African countries that they don't even have. We have better than them. That does not mean we should sit we should sit and do nothing. No, we have to collaborate with the government. That is why the government have put all the other dams to ensure that the power problem should be adjusted so that supply will be equal to demand. That is the situation. So when somebody says, yes, there can be somebody now, as we are talking from Ndop without electricity, there can be somebody from Lebi Alem without electricity. It happens, yes. But what I'm saying is that other African countries, especially the English African countries, they are far behind us. So when we are analyzing, we should know all this. We are saying that we could do better. We should criticize the government, work with the government to do better. We are not saying that we have the best electricity, we have the best water supply, we have the best this. Even those who have the best electricity supply are putting a lot of effort to make it to be more good.
Okay,
so
okay, yeah, let's take this other message. And another person just wrote and is saying that the problem in Cameroon is the old people. The old people are the problem, and Senator, or the late Senator inclusive, because they have not done anything to push forward the development of our country, Cameroon. Victor is writing us from Ngaoundéré. He's watching from Ngaoundéré. He says late MUKETE and other old people who are in power, they are the cause of what Cameroon is going through. And so, according to him, there is no legacy that MUKETE has left behind.
I still respect MUKETE. He fought for the reunification of Cameroon. At the Grand National Dialogue, even with his party stand, he still gave his own personal stand. He has created employment. He has done what he has done. We should appreciate it. The person that sent this message have not even done up to 1/4 of what V. MUKETE have done for Cameroon. Okay. So we should appreciate it.
Okay, greetings to you guys in the studio. I'm watching your program live from London. And tell your guests, if they say our development is poor, you don't talk about other countries. Focus on the solution in Cameroon. And the contributor or the guest or the viewer went further to say that he cannot compare Cameroon with Nigeria in terms of electricity. What is the population of Nigeria? I presume the entire Cameroon population is at par with Lagos alone. Your constituent cannot ask you about his constituency and you talk about another constituency. That's it, Rwanda or
yeah, okay. Let me come back to this. Message that this person in Europe.
Maître Alex Ndive is writing us from UK.
Okay, Maître Alex Ndive from UK.
Yes.
Now, if Nigeria has that population, they are supposed to have electricity more than us because they carry out more economic activity than us to have the resources to have those. That is why when you go to Europe, he is in Europe, he is in UK. The countries with the highest population in Europe is France, Germany, and UK. They have the highest population, they carry out the highest economic activity. That's why they are the best. You come to Africa, the most populated country in Africa, we have South Africa, we have Nigeria, we have Egypt. That's why they are the best. They have the population, they carry out economic activity, they have more resources to create these dams. So there should even be more better.
So our problem is because we don't have the manpower or the human resource.
That's what I'm saying. You go to Asia, which is the best country in Asia. It is China with a population of 1.something billion. They carry out economic activities. They do a high level of production. They have the resources. They gain the revenue and they build their country. You go to America. Okay, let's go to Latin America. The most populated country in Latin America is which country? Is Brazil. After Brazil, what do we have? We have Mexico. That they are the one having the giant economy and they are the best countries in those areas. So if he is saying that Nigeria has the population, then there should be more fine. Because with more population, there is more economic activity and there is more production. As he earlier said, if you see a Cameroonian saying that, don't compare Cameroon with Nigeria, don't compare this, is because he knows that at that level that you are saying, yes, it's ones. They are not politically powerful like those ones, and they are not socially powerful like those ones. They are doing. It's easy to manage, yes, but do they have the manpower to provide other things like Germany? They don't have.
Okay. Greetings to you. I'm Kenneth, watching from Buya. Tell your guest that he should not be comparing Cameroon with baby countries like which recently gained their independence. Corruption has eaten into the blood of our leaders. That's the reason why I don't care much about any member of parliament. I go ahead with this other one. Says, good morning, sir, please. This your guest in the studio is not balanced. He's one-sided. He's a party militant. The guy, he didn't sign. The person didn't sign. Okay, I think for now these are the messages that we have so far. Now we continue with the discussions in the studio. Kedia, let's move on with the discussions.
Yeah,
maybe probably you want to respond to the messages.
Let me just say something about the messages, please. There is corruption.
Yes.
There is corruption. We've seen some of them being arrested. There is corruption. Nobody is saying that there is no corruption. There is corruption. I don't want to compare again with other countries also that have corruption, so that they should say I'm comparing. One, there is corruption. We all know it. We have managerial problems. We all know it. We need to move forward, and we need to work together. If you say I'm one-sided, then a person will send a message to say parliamentarians have done nothing. That person is biased. We can't say parliamentarians have done nothing. We know what people like Honorable Ngala Gerard have done. We know what people like Honorable Njingu Musa, a questor of the National Assembly, have done to his people. They're in Bamali and Bamising. We know all these things. So when you say they have not done anything, is biased. That's my point.
Probably something that will touch on the lives of the local man. Probably.
I am saying that it is collective effort. We need to do it together. You are free to criticize, because when you criticize, you give idea for the government to develop. But when you criticize, work with the government. Don't abandon them and say you don't care. That is not what you will tell your children when you get old. We should work with the government. That's just my own point. I accept their critics. It is good to criticize. President Paul Biya is an elected official, and if anything is not going on well, we have the right to criticize him. That's democracy.
Or even remove him from power during elections, right?
Okay, during election. Yes, during election, during the ballot box. But we've seen
you guys are the very one voting for him, huh? So why complain?
That's why I'm saying that they love him, they voted him. But
when you look at you say they love him and you look at the feelings of the population, do you actually think the population?
Come on, if the population don't want him, they'll remove him. Even if it's not through the ballot box, he's there because he's loved by the people. The people, should I start to call Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire and the rest? The people love him. President Paul Biya is loved by the Cameroonian people. You go to South Sudan, go to this, what military do they have? The people stood, and the military could do nothing. When you go to the Global Revolution, you see how James flew. No matter the military you have or whatsoever power you have, the people have the power that they can remove you. So he is there because he's loved by the Cameroonian people. You cannot compare the military of Cameroon and that of Libya, or that of Egypt, of Mubarak, or that of the rest.
Okay,
but he is there because he's loved by the people. The people of Cameroon, they love him so much that I just even think that
okay, let's find out
from if he's not there, we will cry like the way Libyans are crying that Gaddafi is not there. But when Gaddafi is there, some of them did not see his importance.
Kedia, let's find out from a reporter who is on the ground in Kumba, Meme division of the Southwest region. We don't know if Tamfu Sidwan is on the line right now to give us updates on what is developing from that palace shortly after the announcement of the death of the defunct paramount ruler of the Bafo people in the Meme division of the Southwest region of Cameroon. Until his death, he was the eldest senator in Cameroon, and he abdicated the throne in 2020, giving way for his son to take over his throne to rule the Bafo people. we keep hoping that things or the lines will get back to normal for us to have Tamfu Sidwan, who will be giving us updates as to what is actually happening in Kumba, the feeling of the population, how the atmosphere is in Kumba. Kedia Robin.
Yes, V. MUKETE has played his role. We should appreciate him. Some of us have not even played up to that role that he has played. For us to say he have done nothing is not fair. Cardinal Tumi has played his role. He was a neutral person. He is gone. Molan Jolly Tumbe, who we all knew his stand, but he was never arrested for what he said. He has played his role. He has gone. Now, in the northwest and southwest, in all the 13 divisions, we don't have any elder person again that would tell us that he was part of the reunification. He was part of those that fought for the reunification of Cameroon. All our legends have gone, and when they left, the only thing they told us was that we are one and indivisible. MUKETE left, he said the same thing. Cardinal Tumi left, he said the same thing. But what is more important is that they were not happy with the way it happened. Even late Foncha was not happy with the way things were going on. What do? We need to move ahead and reconstruct our region.
So how do we reconstruct our regions? How do we reconstruct our regions where, when the what you call the Bibles or the real libraries are going without the problem being solved? Cardinal Tumi has died, V. MUKETE now. So how do we get out of this stalemate?
Before the left, their message were very clear. Cardinal Tumi asked people to drop their arms. Cardinal Tumi did not complain about ghost towns, senior disobedience. He did not talk about it. It's the will of the people. But what he kept on hammering on, drop their arms. Then he went further to say, we should have this interview, I think it was with you, when we talk about inclusive dialogue, and you ask him, inclusive dialogue, does it mean with those in the diaspora? And he said no, inclusive dialogue means everybody, those in the country, those for unitary system, federal system, and those in the diaspora. That's inclusive. It means
and he
everybody.
kept preaching tolerance.
Yes, and he said that if we are going for a dialogue, no one should have a stand. Those in the government, if we are going for a government, you should not have a stand on decentralization. Go with an open heart to make peace. Those for separation, you should not go for the dialogue with the notion of separation or nothing. That is what Christian Cardinal Tumi said. But he said Cameroon is one and indivisible. We need to dialogue. He talked of form of the state. I have no any problem with anyone that stand for the form of the state. It is an ideology which we need to debate on it, and the one that is good we take. So we should come together, drop the arms, and fight ideologically, because it's ideologically that will bring peace. It's ideologically that gives access to development. My point is that if you decide any other measure you want to take, is fine, but please, we should drop the arms. People are dying. We should listen to what these people that have gone always told us. V.E. MUKETE cried at the House of Senate and said we are being marginalized. But he did not ask us to separate. Let us stay in this union, but we should fight collectively for what we want. I don't have any problem with the federalists. I don't have any problem with ideology. My problem is we should stop the killing first.
Okay. Let me take some few messages that have equally come in, and this one says, good morning, my Media Prime Television. I think I've taken, I'm Peter from Germany, watching you live. The development of Cameroon has been hindered for so many years because the people in power don't have the country at heart. It is not strange for one of your guests to say Cameroon has power supply for 24 hours daily, for this is an example of the kind of people who cover the truth and keep on preaching lies. And he went further to say, I think the development of Cameroon can only be realized if the right people with the heart to develop the country are put in place. If he does not want to copy the West, but let us at least look how Dr. Pombe Magufuli impacted Tanzania before he died. That's love for your country. I'll move on with this other message which just came in. He's talking about another contributor. Please, when you are writing your message, don't be harsh, don't be insultive. Make your point clear without insulting anybody, please. And you should equally sign your message whenever you are sending in or you are sending them in. And this other one says, good morning to you all. Cameroon has all the resources in place to make sure that the country is in good condition, but power lies in the hands of greedy people who care not for the development of the country, but their aims is to embezzle, and their selfishness has made the country to be this way. This other message coming in from Germany is coming in from Basil writing us from Germany once again. Please tell your guest to be moderate in his utterances. President Paul Biya is loved by the people. This is the same statement Minister Paul Atangandi made in Kumba and was being objected. So I say objection to that statement again. You're right, Basil. DJ Basil is writing from Germany. And Padi Asanga, can you send in your contribution, please? We don't take calls, or you get to us through Zoom or Skype, please. We cannot answer your call directly in the studio. Get to us through Skype or Zoom, Padi Asanga, or you send us your text message or drop us a WhatsApp message on what you think or the legacy of Senator V.E. MUKETE, Padi Asanga. We are sorry we can't pick your calls. Okay,
please, if somebody send any message, except if it is against the rule of your house, but no, if the message is harsh, you read it. If it is on my person, whatever they say, you are free to read it. I'm an open-minded person. I say my view, and I respect the view of people. I've not insulted anyone that stands for separation. Yeah, that's their stand. I've not insulted anyone that wants federalism. Yeah, that's their stand. But the issue I'm saying is that we need to move together. Since this war started in 2016 up to now, we are still in the same position. In fact, we have even gone backward. That is the situation. One of the sender of a message from Germany who says that the sender of a message from Germany, he said, I should not be one-sided. I should say things the way they are. They need the right people at the right time. Yes, we need the right people at the right place. You people are in the diaspora. You people should do a lot to come back so that we can develop the country together. I understand some of them in the diaspora, they applied their problem. Their problem is this issue of dual nationality, which we are praying that our assembly should do a lot of effort so that they can come back, because you realize that China got developed because those in China were sent to America. They studied technology, they came back and developed their nation. So we pray that those of our Cameroonian brothers and sisters in the diaspora can come back and develop our nations. The person that talked about Magufuli, the person is 100% correct. Magufuli is an example. He did a lot for his nation in a very short period of 5 years, I must say the truth, which I believe that many of our leaders should copy, even though his environment is not the same with French African country, where France has his influence to either destabilize you if you don't follow his desire. That is why we have Boko Haram in northern Cameroon. That is why when Bakassi was given to Cameroon, Anglophone crisis came out from nowhere. These people, they are really there present to destabilize us to get what they want. I believe that Cameroonian will understand this international mafia so that we can collaborate together. Then we'll fight all these ills so that we can develop our country. It is true that there is corruption. We have ministers that embezzle. Yes, they are in prison. Nobody is disputing that. We have managerial problem. Yes, some people will complain that somebody that did literature is taking care of wildlife. Yes, is their own. But collectively, we need to work together to develop our nation. People should not get angry. People should not get bitter. After criticizing, we should
be praying
work
for the repose of the souls
together.
of the senator, and other big statesmen we lost.
They are the only living archives we had. They are gone. Molali Tumbe is gone. Cardinal Tumi is gone. V. MUKETE is gone. I don't know anyone again from the northwest and southwest region that we can call today that is alive. Endele is gone. His brother is gone. The only person I think we have now should be former Prime Minister Simon Achiriachu, which is the most eldest in age. Everybody is gone. All our funds that fought for reunification, they are all gone.
But at least we still have Anglophone.
Okay, yes. We still have Anglophone is still present, and I believe that that should be the lone person that is left again. Because if I go across Donga and Mantu, go to Nso Bui division, you realize that the Benan Folon, the Kenyan Wan Jumbam, all of them, they are gone. You go to Kamer, they are gone. You go to Francis, is it Francis Mkwang? Oh yeah, all those big people, they are all gone. Okay. So we are just left now with no archive anymore.
Let's take some few messages once again before we end the program. Please, sir, I am Leonard in Kumba. I love your program, and I think this is one of the best guests we are having. We need to support the government for this country to be developed. Leonard is writing us from Kumba. Greetings, it's Kenneth from Buya. Tell your panelists to go back to the drawing board. That you should go back to the drawing board. You did request that we should read messages that are harsh. Reason why I'm reading them to you, though it goes against our ethics and profession. And this other guy is the same message he sent last time, talking about we still have phone Angwafo and one phone in West Region, that's in Bafoussam, where we talked about
that should be
recently.
I've forgotten this phone which he's struggling to talk about.
Yes, this other message, Kedia. Sokuju.
Yeah, he's struggling about Sokuju.
This other message, good morning, please tell your guests in the studio to be balanced. He is biased, only supporting CBDN and the old people without supporting other common people who are dying in the northwest. He didn't sign his message, Kedia, that you should be balanced. One of the viewers is asking you to be balanced. That you're only supporting.
I don't know if we have time. I would just like to.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes.
Okay, let me just do a run off of the English of the crisis that we have here. You remember that after the Germans, we were separated. We went our ways, and before reunification, we realized that the German governor, the British governor in Nigeria asked what we want. There was no compromise. Endele wanted us to join Nigeria. Tumanza, Joa, and the rest wanted us to join La République du Cameroun. I think it was Mbile alone, Mbile alone, that had the standard. He wanted us to be as a country, but his opinion, he has minority followers. It happened that after that we reunited with our brothers again. We've been having problem of marginalization and things have been going on, and in 2016 it became violence and we've lost thousands of lives. One life is very important, but when it becomes thousand, then there is a very, very big problem. Now that is what has happened. Those in the diaspora keep on deceiving us that we should wait on the international community to intervene, but they will never intervene. If they are intervening, they are coming to steal our oil and the gold. They don't care. That's why they have been in Congo. They have never solved any problem. We as Cameroonians now, our brothers are dying. What is the way forward? Should we keep on depending on saying that no, the government have the knife and the yam? What is our own effort? Should we keep on allowing these boys with guns that they now rape our sisters? They now kidnap for money? They now do all. How can you say you are fighting for my liberation and marginalized? You rape me, you come to my house, you ask my father money to support you, do not have, you take my kid sister to the bush to be with you. I don't understand the fighting of liberation. We saw some of them in the diaspora that were suffering. Now they have beautiful houses there. What is the way forward?
What is the way forward?
And the way forward for me, as I'm saying, is that we should drop the weapon. Those that have decided to keep their ghost town disobedient, it's their democratic right. They will not put gun on their head. Do what you have to do, but please, my own point, individually, out of my party stand, my own point is that we should drop the arms and stop the killing. That is my own point first. We should do everything.
What about respecting age? Because if you read some of the messages that are coming in, you discover that the age is not being respected by some of those viewers who are sending in their contribution. Like somebody like VE, the late VE MUKETE, some of the messages coming in which I have not read. You discover that age too, the old people have made it in such a way that they have lost respect in the face of these young people who do not respect.
It's just that the freedom of speech, because normally we have freedom of speech in Cameroon. You are not being arrested because you spoke. That's why you see everybody goes to TVs to say we are being ruled by demon. We are having kangaroo, useless government. Nobody is being arrested. There's freedom of speech, which to an extent have been abused. That's one thing we should acknowledge. But I would like to tell our viewers that we have the president of the Congress, Nancy Pelosi. He is the same age with Kavayege, born in 1940. Since he is in America, it is correct. And since Kavayege is in Africa, he is old. That is the problem we have. It's all about contributing. Many people did not know of V.E. MUKETE till when he became Senate. But some of us, we knew already. His sacrifices that V.E. MUKETE did, he did his sacrifice when he was still in 30 years. And now he's 103 years and he's dying. But MUKETE sacrificed when he was 30 years. He went study in Manchester. He had everything in Europe. He sacrificed it and came back for his fatherland. He was made minister in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not in the Eastern House, but in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He abandoned it, fought for reunification, and came back. We heard that some people were promised posts of vice president and the rest. V.E. MUKETE did not take any position. He fought for reunification. He came back and stayed with his Bafor people that needed him the most, and he worked with him. He did not go in for political position after 1961 reunification that he fought for. We did not hear about him from 1961 up till 2013 when he was appointed Senate. But he was working for his people. That is what we want. It's not all about political position. Okay. So we should not come and criticize V.E. MUKETE without talking about the people he has employed at the level of the Republic of Cameroon.
Okay, we've just been informed by our producer that we have some time. The management has added us some time because we have some viewers who are following us around the world, and we are told Paddy Asanga is on Skype and he wants to participate in the program, rather. We also have one of our contributors who is writing, or who is also in Australia. He wants to contribute on the program. So we've been giving an additional 15 minutes to see if we can allow this our viewers around the world to chip in their own contribution regarding the legacy, some of the legacies of V.E. MUKETE. I don't know if Paddy Asanga is hearing me. Paddy, good morning and welcome to the program. Paddy, are you there? Apparently still having difficulties in connecting with Paddy Asanga, who is joining us this morning from Germany. He will be chipping in his contribution regarding the legacy of the late Senator Kedia.
Yes, as I was saying, the senator has played his part. He has created employment. That's why we see somebody like Dr. Ningwanyam all the time. He will talk about creating employment. He has created his own employment. Those are the things we should appreciate about him.
Okay, Padi Asanga, good morning and welcome to the program. Glad to have you this morning. How did you receive the news of the passing away of Senator V.A. MUKETE?
The volume is not good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Kingston?
Okay, I just been wondering to ask you, when you woke up this morning and got the news that Senator V.A. MUKETE has passed on to glory, how did you feel?
My feelings are not what I said. Our Bibles, our dictionaries.
To check his volume system.
I'm not happy with the political position.
Paddy, can you check your input? Can you check your microphone? I can't hear you. I can barely hear you.
Okay, I'll come back to it. Thank you.
Okay, dear, let's continue with the discussion while hoping Paddy Asanga joins us back again.
Yes, as I was saying, analyzing MUKETE is the fact that one, he sacrificed his achievement in the West and came back. Two, the employment he created. There are thousands of people that fit thanks to him. Those in MTN, those in Camtel, those in Boom TV, those in XTV, those in you said it's UBA Bank, those in his plantation. They are feeding thanks to His Royal Highness Senator V.E. MUKETE. Thanks to him, they are feeding. We should appreciate it.
So
Why
what
is it
should the
difficult
youth?
to
What should the
people
youth learn from his legacy? What should young people like yourself and me?
That is what
should
I'm
we
saying.
learn
The first
from?
thing we should learn about V.E. MUKETE is that one, when we go to Europe, when we are being sent by the government, because the government of Cameroon, what many people don't say, in the university, all state university, more than almost 1,000 of scholarships are being given out every day. People go for the scholarship, they pay their school fees, they pay their houses, they give their feeding, but after studies, they don't come back home. They do brain transplant, they decide to stay there. They should learn to come back home and develop their country as V.E. MUKETE did, which I appreciate. Two, V.E. MUKETE was not carried away with the post of Minister of Information in Nigeria that he had, but he fought for the reunification. Three, he is not greedy. When he fought for the reunification, Cameroon got independent. He did not fight for any political position. His satisfaction was the reunification of Cameroon, which he is very proud of. Four, in agriculture, he's the third person that does agriculture in Cameroon at the level of his palm kernel, at the level of rubber plantation he has, at the level of agriculture, which we all know that agriculture is one of the best things we can involve with now, because the land is there and the risks of fall in the business is very low. So those are the things we should practice have about V.E. MUKETE. Tell me, V.E. MUKETE belonging to our political party, the CPDM, but at the Grand National Dialogue, he was out to give his own view, which was to an extent contradictory with the view of the party, where he said he thinks that federalism could be the better idea.
So general interest
his general interest. Then the next aspect about V.E. MUKETE, we saw V.E. MUKETE also at the House of Senate, where he decried that the people of Kumba and the entire Anglophone region are not in peace. He was there to cry and say that this is what his people want. What else do we want from him? He has created the employment. He has given scholarship. He is one of the highest traditional rulers in Cameroon that is giving scholarship. The informations are there. If you want to do your research, you do your research. TV stations have been in his house many times where he, before the beginning of school year, he give book, he give assistance and give scholarship. What else do we want if not appreciate him? Those of us criticize what have we even done as compared to what he have done. At his level, he is one man, and as one person he has done what he can do. So we should appreciate him. Those criticizing actually are criticizing for criticizing's sake, but I think V.E. MUKETE should be respected and even given a state burial for what he has done. And I would like to take this opportunity to tell the Bafor people that your king, your Nfon, your traditional ruler have gone to meet the ancestors, but he will still remain to take care of you people. Sorry for the loss. Sorry to the V.E. MUKETE's family. Sorry to the Bafor people that I know are in pain, are in shock. Sorry to all those children that were gaining scholarship annually from His Royal Highness V.E. MUKETE. I believe his son, you called him?
Ebako MUKETE.
Ebako MUKETE the foot.
Yeah.
I believe he will take from there, from his father, to take care of these orphans that his father was assisting them, sending them scholarship. I believe he will take care of the widows that his father usually assists them and take care of widows, because many people don't know that there is a high number of widows in the Bafor land that V.E. MUKETE give them money every month to take care of them. Many people don't know this, but these are the things that happen. I believe his son will continue. I appreciate him for what he has done. He died at the age of 103. I have not even lived up to a quarter of his life. So I pray that his long life is because of his good work that he has done, and I pray that God should also give me such long life, give you such long life, and all our viewers that are viewing us to also have such a long life. I appreciate his good deed. I will not criticize him. He has done what he has done at his level. I can only criticize him when I've done more than him. And if you've not done more than him, don't criticize him. And if you want to criticize him, then you do more than him. Create the employment, take care of the widow, give the scholarship, abandon Europe where you are, you come and build your country. He abandoned the post of minister in Nigeria for reunification. General interest was there. He did not care about the party line. He stood at the Grand National Dialogue. He said his opinion at the National Assembly, at the House of Senate. He said his opinion. That is patriotic. That is being thinking of general interest. So we should not criticize him. We should applaud what he has done and dream, put effort to do what he has done.
Okay, we should put effort to do what he has done so far. The legacy of his the later senator, the eldest senator in Cameroon, who died this morning in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon. We struggle to get Padi Asanga, who apparently is having difficulties with his lines, joining us from Germany. And televiewers, thank you so much for watching. It is on this note that we come to the end of Breaking News, My Media Prime Television, and we were talking about the legacy of later Senator V.E. MUKETE, who died in Yaoundé this morning. And until his death, he was the eldest senator in Cameroon, and he has done a lot according to the reports and what Kedia Malanfe, of course, who is from Kumba, he has canine knowledge of some of the legacies of the later senator in Cameroon, his fight for reunification of Cameroon, and his patriotic nature in seeing that the population, the Bafor people in particular, and Cameroonian in general, they have better life, they live better life, they live good life, benefiting from his, or tapping from his experience, abandoning all the good life in Europe to come back home and develop his hometown, Kumba, in particular, and Cameroon in general. We benefited from the technical expertise of Christian Tebon, and at the broadcast we had Noel Tanjong, who was there. And also we want to say thank you to Mr. Kaiser Mark, who's the technical director, not leaving out the general manager Kum Leonard, and Mr. Tambe Brian, who is putting so much in terms of resources to see that most of the program, especially this breaking news, went on air. We want to say thank you, sir, for putting in so much to ensure that we have all it takes to have this program went on air. For presentation, been Lasha Kingsley, and we equally had Kedia Malamfe, who is an active member of the ruling CBDM party, who was with us in the studio to dig several layers beneath some of the activities of the late senator. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.